Liebe Leute, willkommen zurück zu Suzerain. Wir haben als nächstes anstehen und ich wollte die Kamera eigentlich mal wieder wegschieben, ne? Habe ich noch gar nicht gemacht. Lasst mich das mal schnell tun. Webcam. Zip. Dahin. Und wo hatten wir den Chat beim letzten Mal? Da drüben. Zip. Und dann kann es weitergehen, würde ich mal sagen. Wir waren auf dieser komischen Party mit Peter und jetzt, wo wir rausgefunden haben, dass er weiterhin fremd geht, da gab es ja schon mal Gespräche mit seiner Frau. Und jetzt sind wir nach Benfi unterwegs, da wird das Kulturfestival, ist es glaube ich, eröffnet und Monika, die Frau des Präsidenten, wird dort sprechen. Our motorcade slowly made its way towards the magnificent Benfi High Arts Center. Night was falling and the festival was about to begin. I flipped through the brochure that had been given to us at the hotel. Monica's face was featured on the front page, but the schedule on the inside still said that Curtin Leste, mayor of Anrika, would be making the opening remarks. My last-minute announcement that my wife would be replacing Curtin must have caused some confusion at the print shop. Yeah, I guess Dave, everything has consequences in this game, so there's that. The Benfi Festival was one of the biggest events of the year. It originally marked the start of the annual religious pilgrimage, a weeks-long journey still undertaken by devout tourists, but today it was better known as a cultural celebration that drew thousands of revelers to the city. There were film screenings, concerts, theaters and dance performances, art exhibitions and celebrity-studden nightly galas. The opening ceremonies were broadcasted on TV and watched by millions. As the car slowed, a coterie of reporters and security guards rushed to meet us. I turned my attention to Monika. She nervously eyed the waiting crowd. Don't worry, you're going to be fine. She gave me a smile, looking somewhat comforted. Thanks, Anton, I appreciate it. As soon as Serge opened the door, we were enveloped by the roar of the crowd. The next few minutes were a blur of handshakes, photos and reporters' questions. The onlookers cheered as we walked the red carpet to the newly built Arts Center. We followed the guards through the cavernous white halls until we came to a set of arched doors leading to the auditorium. We waited outside as security did a quick sweep of the area, then headed in. So this is it. I will finally stand on the same platform as you. A platform where Sordlands women will have their voices heard and acknowledged for the first time. Good luck. The two of us proceeded to the podium. I spoke first, delivering a short paragraph about the importance of Benfi and the festival to Sordland. I then introduced Monika. Thunderous applause echoed around the auditorium as she stepped to the microphone. I exited the stage and found my seat, right next to Curtin Leste. Der wird sich freuen. Ladies and gentlemen, as the First Lady of Sordland, I welcome all of you to the Benfi Festival. The crowd erupted again, clapping and cheering. Curtin Leste leaned over and hissed into my ear. Mr. President, I'm afraid you've made a great mistake. There will be consequences. Also er ist doch auch ein Konservativer in unserer Partei, oder nicht? Appointed mayor by Takin Sol in 1940. Promoted the city's cultural heritage site, invested in renovating all Swedish monuments and increased tourism greatly. Re-elected 3 times in a row, becoming the longest-serving mayor in the history of Sordland. Over the years, he became very popular among the Swedish nationalists and the conservatives for his public speeches and accomplishments as mayor. He is considered to be the most well-known mayor in all of Sordland, as well as one of the most popular figures in the United Sordland Party. Ja gut, aber dass wir die Konservativen in der Partei nicht gewinnen würden, das war uns, glaube ich, ohnehin schon klar. Ich glaube, daher tut es nicht so sehr weh, wobei, wenn er natürlich ein populärer Akteur in der Partei ist, könnte das auch die anderen Flügel in der Partei natürlich beeinflussen. Muss man sehen. Ignorieren oder nachfragen? Ignorieren oder nachfragen? Das sind die Optionen. Lassen wir uns auf sowas ein? Das ist die Frage. Lassen wir uns darauf überhaupt ein, auf solche Spielchen? Ich würde mal sagen, wir ignorieren ihn einfach. I did not pay any attention to Curtin and simply pretended to not hear him. Your little stunt has lost you my support in the assembly. Als ob wir den jemals gehabt hätten. I kept my eyes on the stage. When the applause subsided, Monica resumed her speech. This festival holds a very important place in all of our hearts. It is a celebration of art, music, theater, but above all it is a celebration of the people of Benfi, of their free and open-minded spirit. As we all unite for the festivities, we must not forget the values that have inspired them. Today marks the beginning of the Week of the Spirit, a time for vitality, growth and new beginnings. The crowd was hanging on to her every word, but the mayor of Anrika and his entourage didn't seem as impressed. Auf Anrika? Das würde wohl eher auf ihn hier bezogen sein, oder nicht? Mayor of Anrika. Warum macht... warte mal, jetzt bin ich irgendwie total verwirrt. Anrika ist hier. Warum spricht er in Benfi? Das verstehe ich jetzt gar nicht. Oder will der da sprechen? Warte mal. Mayor of Anrika since 1940. Warum hat er dann Benfi ausgebaut? Das verstehe ich nicht. Hatten wir damit überhaupt zu tun? I stand on this podium today to speak about change, about a new beginning for our society. Sordland calls itself a free country, yet half of its citizens are still barred from enjoying the same freedoms that the other half takes for granted. I refer to myself and my fellow women. A rumble went through the crowd, scattered applause mixed with murmurs of discontent. To truly move forward, we must make a break from old traditions and strive towards equality for all, equal rights, equal pay, equal access to education. Enough, ruft der Bürgermeister zwischen. The entire hall fell silent. The mayor of Anrika rose and spoke. I will not let this woman besmirch the traditions upon which our great country was built. Please sit down. No, Anton, I can no longer sit idly by. We are past that point. Curtin turned towards the audience, speaking loudly enough to be heard without a microphone. Mrs. Rayne, what right do you possibly have to pass judgment on our values as Swedish citizens? You are not a politician. You are not a speaker. You are merely a woman who is lucky enough to be married to the President. Your place is not at this podium. It is at home, tending to your husband and children. Was ist er denn für ein Typ, ey? The crowd was growing rowdier. Some booed and jeered at Curtin's words, others whooped in approval. Monica froze completely. The audience grew louder. I had to do something. I walked up to the stage and stood beside my wife at the podium. The mayor was still standing defiantly in the front row. Have you forgotten what you learned in the kindergarten? Ich glaube, wir bleiben mal souverän. Please calm down, take your seat, let her finish now. I will not stand idly by as our Swedish values are being tested, especially by our very own president and his harlot of a wife. Get out of my sights immediately. Please do not make me repeat myself. Ist, glaube ich, hier die souveränste Antwort? Oh, what? You have me kicked out? You will stay and watch this speech without interrupting it. Curtin's response was nearly drowned out by the booing crowd. I will not stay where I'm not wanted. Clearly that's the case. Curtin grabbed his coat and made his way to the exit. The man who had been sitting with him got up and followed him out. Having regained her composure, Monica stepped back behind the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, this incident only serves to demonstrate how visibly divided our country is today. My intention was not to offend or harm anyone. It is unfortunate that even the mention of modern ideals still does not resonate with many in Sordland. I hope we can set aside our differences one day and work towards a happier, brighter future for all of Sordland's citizens, male and female alike. We must all remember the future cannot exist without the past. And I believe we are witnessing the meeting of our glorious past and our bright future right here in Benfi today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to officially open the Benfi Festival. Amorg Naves Core. Weg denn sie da. Most of the audience finished the decades-old saying, but nervous whispers still emanated from around the room. The opening event was finally finished, but my troubles with Curtin were not. I let Monica and my entourage know we'd be flying straight back to Holsort. I was in for yet another sleepless night. Tja. Naja, also, ich glaube, dieser Konflikt ist jetzt keine so große Überraschung oder Neuigkeit. Also, wenn er ein Liebling der Nationalisten ist, dann steht er unserer Politik sowieso im Weg. Welt is deploying special forces to Vernon. President Smolak has announced that the city of Vernon has been put under curfew along with 7 other towns in the northeast of the country. The Veshek army has deployed specially trained military forces in the area to combat the militant organization known as the Bludish Freedom Front. Welt has increased its efforts in fighting terrorism with aerial campaigns and ground operations targeting BFF militants and their hidden bases. This operation will surely have consequences for the region, particularly for the neighboring countries of Lesbia, Rumburg and particularly Sordland, which has a large population of Bludish people living inside its borders. Ja. Hier ist die Stadt. Und wir haben Berichte aus Urizen, Refugees of Vernon. Reports from our border and the Veshek city Vernon show that there are about 1,000 people running away from Veshek military forces towards the Sordish border. Ja, das ist okay. Bericht aus Estorts, Proteste und Plünderungen. Protests and occasional looting continues in the region of Nargis. The police reports that the violence has been minimized and the situation is mostly under control outside the big cities. Estot police force reported that several militants have been hiding among the protesters and are being watched closely. Ja, und könnt ihr euch erinnern, dass die Innenministerin dafür geworben hat, dass sie unbedingt mehr Polizei braucht? Seltsamerweise scheint sich die Lage überall weiter zu beruhigen, obwohl wir ihr nicht mehr Polizei gegeben haben. Downtime at home. Na, dann gehen wir doch mal nach Hause. I felt like eternity since the Benfi Festival. Had it really only been less than 24 hours. I was at home now, drinking an afternoon coffee on my balcony. A stack of newspapers lay by my side. I picked them up one by one, reading and rereading the articles about the festival. Some of the papers came out in full support of the First Lady for her brave speech. Others took Curtin's side. Nearly all of them agreed that the First Lady had acquitted herself very well following the interruption. I was putting the last newspaper down as Monica joined me on the balcony. Listen, can we talk for a bit? Of course, what is it? Monica sat and picked up the nearest newspaper. She pointed to a particularly insulting headline on the front page. I never in a million years would have wished for this, Anton. I just wanted to thank you for supporting me and apologize for creating such a spectacle. All I wanted was to bring the people of Sordland together, the way you are able to, but not like this. Her eyes were getting moist. A single tear fell onto the newsprint. Warum denn das? Wir können die Träne abwischen. Sagen, das ist schon in Ordnung. Jetzt ist alles unter Kontrolle. Nein, du kannst das schon schaffen. Du musst da nur dabei bleiben. Oh, Anton, her eyes filled with gratitude. I could see she'd slept as little as I had since the festival. Thank you. One more thing. You know how stubborn I am. When I gave that speech, I saw hope in the eyes of all the women in the audience. This is the right path for me, Anton. I want to officially adopt this cause as First Lady, to actually get involved in politics, not just give impromptu speeches. I could even help your education minister with those reforms she's working on. I know this is something you're passionate about as well. Can I count on you? Ja, warum denn nicht? Anton hat sie ja auch über die Frauenrechtsgruppe kennengelernt, von daher. Ups, Entschuldigung. I'm looking forward to working closer together. This means so much to me. Monica hugged me tightly and I felt some of the past days' tension melt away. Thank you. A noise came from the balcony door. We both turned our heads to see Diana standing there. Mom, I'm hungry. Let's go to the kitchen, baby. We may pop out the best snack ever. Yeah. They left the balcony and returned half an hour later with a large cookie. Diana had written my name in icing on it. As I sipped my coffee and nibbled the cookie, I thought that I had made the right choice. Things were going to get harder, but at least my life at home was somewhat peaceful. So, Wirtschaftsreport. The Ministry of Statistics, along with the Ministry of Economy and the Central Bank have delivered a preliminary economic status report detailing that the recession is ongoing and the system isn't likely to reach stability soon if we don't take serious steps. Minister Ho said the signs were negative. Oh no! Was steht an? Oh, Grenzbefestigungen. Sollen wir da neue Befestigungen an der Grenze zu Rumburg bauen? The military has voiced concerns about the cut of the military funding and requests additional funds to plug the holes in our defenses at the Rumburg border to the north. Mr. Gelate advises us to accept the offer led by General Kruger. The MOD will immediately begin implementation upon approval. Tja, wir haben kein Geld. Und wir haben... Ich weiß nicht, wie weit wir die Staatsschulden treiben können. Wir haben eigentlich kein Interesse, die Situation mit Rumburg weiter zu eskalieren. Das wird doch wohl passieren, wenn wir unsere Grenzbefestigungen weiter ausbauen, ha? Wir werden sie nicht bauen. Das wird das Militär nicht freuen. Und wir haben ja schon gehört, im Militär ist Unruhe. Die sind nicht mehr so richtig gewillt, unseren Befehlen zu folgen. Hoffentlich gibt es da keinen Putsch. Die Lackhaven Times schreibt, First Lady gives speech. Banffy Festival is now in full motion. The festival goers are enjoying the many attractions set up. However, this year's Banffy Festival started eventually. The First Lady's opening speech was interrupted by the mayor of Anrika, Curtin Leste, who stood up to the remarks made by the First Lady. Mayor Leste has then continued with his disrespecting accusations and tone, incurring the wrath of the crowd. President Rayne has interjected in the developing situation and saved the day by calming the attendees. Mayor Leste's disrespect will surely end up damaging his already declining reputation after this event. Okay, die Nachrichten waren also mehr auf unserer Seite. Und Budget. Ja, die Armee will schon wieder irgendwie was mit dem Geld, ne? Wie immer. Neue Waffen, mehr Panzer, all sowas. To determine the current situation of the military and its spending policy, we held a meeting in the White Room. Peter, Walken and Joseph were here. Walken Kruger. General Walken, Mr. Lancea, let's start with the briefing. Very well, Mr. Vice President. We have prepared a briefing to convey further details about the current situation of our military. Which branch would you like to know about? Wie geht's der Armee? According to the latest reports from Camp Strong Arm, currently we field 6 armies, totaling up to approximately 400,000 active troops, which is a good amount. The real issue we are having is the quality, not the quantity. Wie sieht's mit der Ausrüstung aus? Our army is quite outdated by today's military standards. Most of our equipment is 2 decades old. To make up for our lack of modern military equipment, we resort to a large number of soldiers, which is not really a long-term solution. I've been trying hard to reduce the negative effects of this problem. We don't need a modernization program. A standardized purchase of lacking equipment would do. We need more funding towards expanding the military size, otherwise our army will be seen as weak. 400.000 unter Waffen ist jetzt nicht so klein, will ich mal sagen. Wo ist die Armee deployed? First Army is stationed at the Lesbia and Velen borders to protect the way into the central regions of Sordland. The Second Army, our largest force, has been situated by the Rumburg border. The Second Army has a large mountain commando force and is the most adequately equipped army to face Rumburg. Okay, the Third Army is near the Agnolian border and the coastal areas facing Valksland. Due to our bitter past, our coastal defense force is always on alert. The decimation of our fleet still is not forgotten. Hat er nicht gesagt, wir haben 4 Armeen? Ist das hier falsch gezählt? Rumburg? Rumburg. Naja. Wie stehen wir im Vergleich zu anderen Armeen da? Rumburg fields about 6 armies amounting to 1,000,000 soldiers. Lesbia fields 5 armies, which amount to 800,000 soldiers. Valksland fields 1 army of about 140,000. Warum haben die denn so wenig? Velen field an army amounting to 100,000 soldiers, and Agnolia fields an army with a total of 200,000. The sheer size of Rumburg's army is because of their forced conscription laws. Due to their massive gold reserves, they are able to afford it. On the other hand, the Lesbian army is the most advanced, followed by the Valkslandian army. Both of these countries put lots of money in modernizing their military. Wie geht es der Marine? Our Navy currently constitutes 59 ships with a total of 60,000 sailors and support staff. As you know, these ships are commanded from our main naval base in Conrad, where our flagship Rayne is docked. Our navy is dwarfed by the size of the Volkslandian navy, which has 194 ships, and the Agnolian navy that has 81 ships. We only surpass Lesbia in terms of our navy, as they have less than 30 ships. As you see, the situation is dire, but the solution is not just more ships. To make a truly better navy, we need to equip our ships with modern radar and sonar systems. More outdated ships wouldn't mean much. Und in welchen Bereichen patrouillieren wir? We are patrolling the Marquian Sea, the Grey Strait and the Antician Sea. Our navy protects all our coastal regions. However, to make sure we are not thinning out our defense, we prioritize certain regions over others, like Greater Hosort. We often patrol the routes that are close to the shipping lanes, especially Marquian Sea and Grey Strait. The amount of cargo that goes through that area is eye-opening. Another thing to note is, after the takeover of Helgeland, where our navy has led incursion operations to protect Agnolia, we also take part in some joint navy drills as well. So, wie geht's denn der Luftwaffe? Our Air Force currently has 410 planes, out of which only 140 are jet planes that are not in great condition. 30,000 pilots and support staff in the Air Force, and they are commanded from the Mark Air Force Base in Allery. Inwiefern arbeitet die Luftwaffe zusammen mit den anderen Waffengattungen? The Air Force is trained as an independent tactical support branch, which means it assists other branches but doesn't collaborate. This does cause some issues like friendly fire and missed close air support opportunities. There are ways to improve collaboration with joint operation rooms. Something to think about surely. What are the operational capabilities? Our planes can bomb targets within 400 kilometers radius of the airfield. They have medium range and semi-effective nighttime bombing capabilities. At any time, we can field 7 air wings composing a total of 130 aircraft that can operate in combat duty. This is enough to subdue most targets. In terms of our bombing capability, we have an average of 100 meters of precision. This is not great, but it is still within the effective radius of the bombs. Und wie erfahren sind unsere Piloten? They have an average experience. They have a total of 450 hours flight time with their craft before they are qualified. This gives them more than enough time to get used to it. This is low compared to 1,000 to 1,500 hours in other countries like Acacia, United, Contana, Lesbia and even Volksland. Normally the hours per pilot should be higher, but due to the lack of funding we can't increase the training times. Fuel costs are rather high. Let's move on. He cleared his throat. To say that the Ministry of Defense is furious about the reduction of the military budget would be an understatement. That was a betrayal in our eyes. As if the reduction was not enough, you also decided against reinforcing our border. Yeah. If Rumbok were to attack, we would need to sacrifice many soldiers to hold the line now. Joseph narrowed his eyes. If I didn't know better, I would say you are intentionally trying to weaken Sordland, Mr. President. Of course not. Cause and effect, that's how I can suggest that. We stared down each other. Peter finally interjected. Let's calm down, gentlemen. Ja, eins stimmt natürlich, das wird aber auf Unmut stoßen, weil natürlich das Militär eh konservativ ist. Das sind alles noch so Listen. Also ist das natürlich leider schade, aber die Entscheidung wurde halt schon getroffen. We need money and materials, Mr. President, not excuses. We will need to cut training time. Let soldiers go and start purchasing equipment. This is disastrous and will destroy the armed forces as we know it. Oh mein Gott. I'm sure you talented gentlemen will find ways to circumvent the cut efficiently. Do not expect the Swedish armed forces to be a capable force after these budget changes. Joseph's voice was getting louder and louder. Gentlemen, please, let's calm down. No need to cause a ruckus. Tell that to the hundreds of thousands that will lose their employment and the honorable general staff of the armed forces. There are simply no resources left. You don't mean it, but it has been done. Ach so, die Beleidigung, ja. We expected much more from you, Mr. President. You have let us down. Let's hope that our enemies won't realize our weaknesses. Joseph and Vulcan were angry, but there was not much that could be done about it. The meeting concluded as the sun set over the concrete jungle that was Hosort. Joa, naja, das Militär mag uns nicht. Das ist ja nun mal nichts Neues.